Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and this amazing video. I'm Aditya. In this video, I will show you how to create a shopping cart in Next.js app or even in like React app. And we will be using TypeScript and we'll be using I won't create the full functionality of authentication, payment and everything, but it will be mostly like creating like a cart instance, taking to the cart page, showing the instance, showing the cart items and storing it in the local storage. So all this will be in this video. Without any further ado, let's begin. Okay, so first we have like a simple products, like three products which are coming from our dummy database of products.json. So this I have taken from the Tailwind UI. So there you get a components, ready-made components of product lists, and there I have they just had one product, so I just manipulated a bit like the price and added like 2-3 extra fields of the currency, sorry, stock and the currency. Then the images, it was 01, I tried with 02, 03, it worked. And now we have three different products. Then a button component, a very simple button component, then title component, then the layout component. So I have just used this, like these two divs as layout and then just close them. Then we have the index page, which is rendering our products. Button component in that product card. So whatever was inside this, like this thing I have taken into a separate component as a product card, and in that product card just a add to cart button, nothing else. Now let's begin with the functionality of adding items to cart. So I have here two interfaces as TypeScript. So one interface is for the props, which is this one. The other interface is the item or the cart item that's going to go inside the cart. Okay, I'm also using the UUID package, and make sure if you're using UUID for TypeScript like this package, then make sure you're having the types UUID package as well for the types, like you need the types of that as well. Dynamic thing is just to import components dynamically or kind of like lazy load. So lazy loading the component. So that's why I'm just having like dynamic component load here. So that being said, now let's go with the add to cart function. Now, as we are doing it on local storage, so let's first understand that you can add to cart, like you can save the cart either on server side or locally. Now, if you store it on server side, it's more dynamic because in that case you can literally keep it as long as it is not like the cart is not sorry, not the cart, but the payment is not completed or the transaction is not completed. You can keep it there for 10 days, 20 days, and after 20 days when someone visit that cart, at that time if some of the products are out of stock, then you can manipulate it. So it kind of like you can see from the server side how you can manipulate it, and yeah, like you can just get the card items if it was in the database. You can also store it in the session storage, but on the other side, when it comes to client side, you can store it in the local storage or IndexedDB. But what happens in when you store it in local storage is that suppose after 10 days, or if I visit up my card, in that case the product will be there inside cart because it was added 10 days before. But suppose after 10 days, if it goes out of stock, and if I still complete the order for that, so to avoid that complexities or those circumstances, what we do is we store it in the local storage with just the product number and the quantity of that product. And when it comes to go like on the cart page, we just double check in the database for each product quantity if it is less than equal to the stock of that product. Okay, so we can do it every time someone visits the cart page. Now let me show you all this in action. So first thing we need to do is, now here this is a component. Now if this was like, I already have three components over here, so making a call inside of a component which is getting repeated, that means making three Axios calls for no reason. So in that case, what I'm going to do is from the index.tsx, this products that we are getting from the index page, I will pass it to the component over here as products. So I'm going to say products, this will be products. Okay, all the products. So that will go to the product card, and inside here we can add it in the props. So the other prop will be product. Actually, we don't need comma here. Product, and that will be array of this product. So in that case, I can say product array, and we just need to take it as a separate interface. So okay, let's do it like this actually. Interface product. Let's take all of this from here, put it over here, then make this as product and this as product array, and that's it. So here we can take it again like products. Okay, that's it. Then now once we have the products, next thing we need to do is just check it, like which product was added, and then like, because it might be the case that they might click this add to cart twice, so in that case you need 2 quantity in the cart, not 1. So we also need this products will be useful in that case. So first we have const cart string that will come from local storage dot get item cart. Now I'm using key of cart. You can use any key, doesn't matter. What we are doing here is we are just getting the cart instance or the local storage inside the local storage where we have stored the cart. We are just getting that first. Then we are saying if this doesn't exist, in that case what to do. In that case we will simply have, so let's first take here let cart, and inside in that case we will simply do this cart will be the type of cart item. Cart item, and here we will do cart equal to, so first we will need a cart ID, so CID will be, we will have a UUID 4, then we will need product. So inside that products, it's going to be an array, and the first item will be ID will be the product dot ID, and then we have quantity will be 1. Okay, just need to put a comma here. Perfect. So we added our first item in the cart. We created the cart instance by providing it some UUID. That's great. Now next thing we need to do is, okay, this is there. If it wasn't there, we are creating it, but what if it was there? So in that case, in the else part, I'm going to say cart equal to json.parse. Now this will come from over here, like this CS. So whatever cart was previously stored, we are just getting that cart. And then now first we need to test if the product already exists in that cart, like the current product we are adding. If it exists, we increment the quantity. If it doesn't exist, we just like simply create, like add another product in that cart. So first I'm going to do cart dot map, cart equal to cart dot map, and here for each cart item we are checking for that cart item dot product dot PID, sorry ID, if it is equal to this product which is being added, product dot ID. Now here we need to have something like this, like this. Then we need an if loop over here. So we are checking, okay, for each item in the cart, if we encounter an item whose ID, which means this ID, actually it should be like this, cart dot products, and then we can have here also cart dot products. Okay, then in that case we don't need this, we can just remove it from here. And we are saying here, okay, for each of this product, so here I can say product or cart item, let's keep it cart item. Now each of the cart item, whichever cart item ID equals to our product which is being added's ID, in that case we return ID will be whatever is the ID, and quantity will be ci.quantities or qty plus 1. So we will increment the quantity by 1. But what if it's not there? If it's not there, now as it is TypeScript, so we need to return something just as like a temporary thing. So you could say like like just something nominal that we need to return there. So I'll just simply return ci.id and quantity is ci.quantity. Okay, now if you notice here, it generally it won't go to this statement, because if there is just one product and if there is just one match, it will just go over here. Okay, if there are two products, it will go over here. Actually it will go, because in the second product, in the case of second product, it will just return back the second product. Okay, great. Now that's done. So our cart is properly manipulated. Now next thing we need to do is we need to check if the product was added correctly, or okay, I'll tell you what we need. We first need to say let is product or is same product equal to false. So by default, this variable will be false. Now here I will expand this by adding here something like this, and here I'm going to say, okay, if the product was already added in the cart, so I'm going to say is same product equal to true. Okay, then outside over here, outside this map function, I'm going to say if it's not the same product. Okay, if it's not the same product, or okay, let's make this something like is added. If the product is not added, in that case what I'm going to do is I will say cart.products.push, and then in that I will add this new product. Okay, so I just need to copy this and paste it over here like this. Okay, at the end we will simply just print this and see how our cart looks. Okay, but before that we need to do local storage dot set item and cart, and here we need to stringify it, because in local storage we need to convert it into string when we store it. So we will be stringifying our cart, and at the end we will just console.log cart. Okay, let's give it a try. So it begins from here, and okay, let's keep it outside so we can see it how it looks. Okay, so right, actually we don't even need this product now I think of that, so let's remove it. We don't need it actually, so let's remove it from here. Let's go back over here, let's remove it from here, and let's give it a try. So let me clear all my local storage. Let's start again. It's sorry, it's here. Let's refresh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is currently it's all empty. So if I add to cart, okay, there's cart ID created, the product is there with one array. So ID is 1, quantity is 1. I add the same product again. Now the quantity should be 2. There it is, perfect. Now if I add a new product, let's say we add gray t-shirt whose ID is 3. So array is 2, perfect. If we add the same product again, amazing. So this thing is working here great. Now next thing is sending this cart, like cart items or whatever it is that we have created on local storage, going to the cart page and not sending actually, but retrieving it again on the cart page and then using it to render our cart. So let's go to the cart page over here. Now what I'm going to do here first is we will need some states. So I'm going to say const cart items set cart items, that will be use state. By default it's going to be blank array. Let's import use state. Okay, so use state is imported. Now next thing is okay, then we need a use effect. Now this use effect is going to run only once, and that when the component is mounted. Okay, in that case we just do here give a blank array like this. Now what we need to do is we will say const cs, same again, local storage dot get item cart. If not cs, if there was no cart created, that means the cart is empty and we need to send the user to the products page. So I'm going to say here another variable const is empty, and set is empty. I'm going to say use state of let's keep it false. Now you can have it strictly type, so in that case you can pass here boolean here. Now it depends what type of cart items you are expecting here. So first let's see what we are expecting and then we will make it typed accordingly. So here I'm going to say, okay, if there it's not there, I'm going to say set is empty to be true and just return from here, don't go any further. So that's great. If this was there, in that case I'm going to do const cart equal to json.parse cs. Okay, now once we have the cart, first thing we need to do is check if the stock is in, like, do we have the stock of whatever quantity is being asked. Okay, because what will happen is if the user visits this cart after 10 days, we need to make sure, okay, even after 10 days, if the user has asked for 4 of these white t-shirts, those white t-shirts, like at least 4 white t-shirts are already there. So we just need to make sure before we proceed forward. So what I'm going to do here is, so first we need to go with all products. So we'll need all the products here as well. So I'm going to say import products or product data from products.json. Great. Now we are using here product data, but generally if it was like a proper application, this you could have it using Axios call, or if this page was server side rendered, you can have the product data and all these calculations and everything done on the server side before rendering this page. Okay, so it depends how you tackle it. Now we have the product data over here. Now what we need to do is for each product data, so I'm going to do something like this, product data dot, or rather let's do like this. So we have the cart. Okay, so from that cart items we can create like our original cart items. So I'm going to say here const cart, or let's take it as a let cart items unprocessed. We can change the name, but I think we need this, there will be a 2 steps. So let's see, so cart.map. Now inside this, for each cart item, so for each cart item we will be first checking or getting the product data. Okay, so here I'm going to say const product equal to product data dot map, filter for each product whichever product ID matches. So in this case equal to cart item dot ID. Okay, now it will show you some error here. Okay, let's get the interface from, I guess it was in the product card. Yeah, over here. We can have a separate file of types, and then from there we can just import the interfaces. But for now I'll just copy paste the code, but the best practice is to have it in a separate file so that you can reuse the interfaces. So let's have your cart item, and here we have ID. So in that case, so this should be on cart.products. So for each cart products, and here it won't be cart item, it should be just the product, like this interface. So we can simply copy it from here and paste it over here like this. So it's just following that interface. So now we don't, like, it would be like strict type kind of thing. So okay, so we got our product, whatever the product was, and then we check if product 0 dot stock is greater than or at least equal to cart item dot quantity. Okay, so we check if the product is in stock. So this is the way you can check it. And then here, now generally these things needs to be done server side, because if you do it on client side, then this code is exposed, and anyone who knows some JavaScript, they can like modify this code, and then could be a big problem. So to avoid that, it's best to do such checks on the server side. Okay, so we are just checking here. Okay, the product is there. If it's in the stock, okay, that's great. Then we need to just return something like this. So it will be ID. Then we have, what is the ID? That is cart item dot ID. Then we have price. That's gonna be our product dot price. Product dot price. Oh, sorry, it should be product 0 because it's the filtered array. And then we have quantity. That's gonna be cart item dot quantity. Then we have currency, which is product 0 of currency. Then we have, okay, so we have product, currency, quantity, price, and last in stock. In stock, we say true. Okay, if else, if this is not the right thing, or if this is not the correct product, then in that case what we need to do is we just need to, like, sorry, if this was out of stock, in that case we just need to copy this part over here. In case of out of stock, we just put it as false. Now this can be done in one line. As you could see, like, we have multiple lines, so this can be done in one line. Well, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is take this from here, put it over here, and just use the ternary operator. So we will just take this thing, because most of the things are same. Here I'm going to do, okay, if this is there, then true. If not, then false. Okay, simple ternary operator. Then we don't need this if and else. Okay, so this will give us all the, like, the new cart items unprocessed. So to show you how it looks, let me just console.log this cart items unprocessed, and let's go back over here. Let's go to cart. So you will see over here, okay, if I remove this and refresh this, so 2 cart items over here. So ID, price, and this, like, these are the 2 IDs items we added. Their quantities there, if they are in stock, so mostly all are in stock, so that's great. And then simply use our what is that, set cart items. So here, instead of doing console.log, I'm going to do set cart items. Now this is unprocessed, so I'm not sure, like, I thought it would be 2-step, but it happened in 1 step, so that's great. So I'll just do cart items array, just to not coincide with our name over here. Now next thing we need to do is, okay, so we have this, we use the map function, we created a new array based on our cart. Now next thing we need to do is just display this, but before that we also need to calculate the total. So here I'm going to say const total set total equal to use state, and by default total will be 0. Now as I said, like, you can make it strictly typed by using this interface. So you just need to copy this interface somewhere. So I'll just copy this, and let's put here interface display cart, and that will be this interface. So we can remove this, we can remove this. Now this will be number, this will be number again, this will be number again, this will be string. We forgot the name of the product, that's the main thing, so let's add that. This will be boolean, and then there will be name, which will be string. You can format it, and then over here we can add the name. So name is product 0 dot name. Now as you know, like, this is just a JSON file, so in that we are just filtering it because it's all locally stored and everything. Data is less, so that's okay. But on server side, this could be a costly operation, especially if you're not on server side, but if this was client server proper architecture. In that case, if I'm making request to the database, and then with each ID I'm making request to the database where ID is this, get the product, specific product, and then match it over here, that could be costly. So best way, as I said, is to do it on the server side. Next thing is we will need a use state again over here. So we will say use effect, not use state. Now this use effect will run on when there is a change in this cart items, which is this one over here. Okay. Now this will run on first render as well. So here I'm going to say if cart items dot length is equal to 0, and in that case I'll just return. And here we can have the type. So here I can say display cart, and it's got just the array of this display cart, nothing else. So okay, here we can take a number. Okay, now next we just need a total. So I'm going to say const t equal to cart items. Now I'll use the reduce function for each item. So we need to take here some item and item index. Okay, item index is not needed, we can just take these two. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do sum equal to sum plus item dot price. Okay, and this item dot price will be only applicable if item in stock. Okay, so if the item is in stock, then only add it in the price, in the final total. If it's not, then don't add it. Now to avoid this error, just give it the interface of display cart, and here we just need the initial value of 0, and then need to return something. So we'll say return sum. Okay, so okay, let's remove this current index, not needed. Okay, that's pretty easy. Then we just set the total. So we will say set total, whatever the total is that we call calculated here. Now next thing we need to do is display all these one by one. So here I'm going to just first take something like this. I'm going to say is empty. In that case, just display a div. Here you can use title as well, that's fine. Let's do title, that will be okay as well. Title, your cart is empty. Okay, else we can then render our cart here. So it will be inside a div, and then here we can map for each cart items over here. Okay, so I'm going to say cart items dot map. Now this will go inside this item, and then over here, and we just need to return a div again. So what I'm going to do is I'll only return this if like it was in stock, but if it went out of stock, in that case I'm going to say okay, it was in stock before, but now it is out of stock. So I'm going to say item dot in stock. In that case, return something in, or else return something else. Okay, so here it's going to be another div item, and the name of that item, item dot name, was in stock when you added in cart, but now it is out of stock. Okay, else we just say name. Now I won't focus more on styling, so I'll just simply do name and all those things. So here it will be item dot name, then just copy this part. This will be price. Now we can also show the currency, item dot currency, if it's there. Yeah, it's there. Then we have what do we have, quantity, and we also have div what else, so price, quantity, name. Actually that's it, actually nothing more. So save, let's see how it looks. Reload, that's fine. So we have basic t-shirt 25 and the quantity and everything. Okay, let's do something like this here. So we can say class name equal to, so actually let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Div, and here we could say class name equal to space y of 4, and yeah, there it is. So this is our first cart item, this is another cart item. Now if we want to remove it from the cart or reduce, then in that case we just say, let's say we had it something like this. Let's take a button just for removing. Okay, let's do a normal button remove, and here we will have onClick remove item, and in that case we need to pass the ID of that whatever we are removing. So in that case let's take it like this. So here I'm going to say remove item.id. Let's create the function quickly. So here we will have function remove item, whatever the ID was passed, and then here we can say now this ID is, it's showing a type of any, but you can just take it as a number. And here we will say, okay, so first we need to go inside the cart item, remove it from there, and that's it actually. So let's go. So here I'm gonna say const new cart equal to cart items dot filter, and now for each cart item just give all the items where this ID is not matched. Okay, so I'm going to say ci.id not equal to ID. Okay, so all the items where ID is not matched. Okay, and then whatever the item is, then we will say here set cart items with the new cart. Simple. Let's give it a try. Oops, over here. So we have that remove button. So I remove this basic t, remove, and there it is. Pretty simple, isn't it? So let's also render the total. So after we render all these stuffs, here simply we do div total is whatever is the total. Okay, and we can put the currency and everything. Now it's back in this because we haven't put it in the local storage as well, because we need to remove it from the local storage once we remove it from here. So the price is reflected, that's great. Now need to remove it from the local storage. So what we need to do is, so inside the local storage, so we need to store it exactly in this pattern. Where is our local storage? Exactly in this pattern, like how we are storing it. So the ID and the quantity of that cart item. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll go over here, over cart.tsx, and here I'm going to say something like this. Okay, so you set the new cart, that's great. And then I'm going to say const cart equal to, so new, okay, let's take the cart ID as well so that we don't have to do it again and again. So here I'm going to say const cart ID set cart ID equal to use state. Now this is going to be a string because it's a UUID, and by default it's going to be blank. Then over here, when we are good with the cart, here I'm going to say set cart ID cart.cid. Then later here I can use it. So here I'm going to say new cart.map. So okay, let's first do it like this. Okay, let's do it like this. Let cart equal to CID is cart ID will be new cart dot map. So each item we just need to have id will be item.id and quantity was item.quantity. Pretty simple. And simply here we can do json dot, sorry, not json, what was that, local storage dot set item cart dot stringify, sorry, json dot stringify cart. Simple. Let's give it a try. We can make it const actually, const, and let's give it a try. Or going here, okay, refresh. So I want to remove this basic t. Okay, I removed it. Refresh, and it's not there. Amazing, right? So next thing is checking for the stock and in stock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll go back to the products page. So let's go to products page over here, and let's add this basic t again in the card, and let's go over here. Okay, basic t is there. Now I will just remove the just make the basic t quantity as 0. So I'll go to products.json. Suppose our database now changed and has the quantity of 0 over here. Let's go back over here. Now you will see basic t was in the stock when you added in cart, but now it is out of stock. So the total you have to pay is only $47. If I refresh, it's still the same. Okay, so that's pretty cool feature actually. So it makes it kind of more realistic, because we don't want customer to pay and later already it was out of stock, and then then you have a lot of complaints, you know what I mean. So to avoid that, this is the best thing we could do. It's just like checking it first if the stock actually is equal to whatever is inside the cart. So next would be like just so the payment features and everything. As I said, I won't be doing those, but you could do those, and then simply whatever is the cart, you can take it to the server, make an order of it, and you know what to do next. One quick correction I noticed is that it has $47, but it's not taking the quantity in picture. So let's just quickly fix that. It's pretty simple. Here when we are doing item into price, item plus price, so here we also need to do into item dot qty. Yes, that's what we need for now. And then if we just go back over here and do a reload, and then there it is, our price is reflected. That's all in this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you feel this video is worth sharing, please do share with your network. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. And last but not the least, I have released a Udemy course on Next. It's for learning Next and using it to create a web app. It's in JavaScript. So I'll put the link in the description. Please do have a look at that as well. So that's all for this video. See you in the next video. Till the next time. Goodbye.